Damn phones, Babylons can't crack the code.
Caleb Williams did one of the most unthinkable things in one of the most chaotic environments in all of college football. OU versus Texas. They were down by 18, but Caleb Williams came in for Spencer Rattler and led a comeback, and he played very well, completing 15 of 24 passes, throwing for 211 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions, while also rushing for 88 yards on 4 carries for 1 touchdown. But if it was not for one decommitment, you would not be seeing Caleb Williams play in this game. This is B. Kelly back again with another banger video, and in today's video, y'all, I'm going to be talking about the decommitment that might have changed the outlook of OU season for the 2021 college football season. Before I move on with the video, remember to smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, as we are on the road to 10K, and I would highly appreciate it. Now, let's get into it. To start this video off, we are going to kick it back to June 20th, 2019. When 5-star quarterback Brock Vandagriff committed to the Oklahoma Sooners. Vandagriff was the main quarterback that OU was going after, and they put all of their marbles on him for his recruitment process, and it really showed when he said this after committing to the Sooners. It was deep down, honestly, I felt it. Oklahoma was where I want to go. In the last meeting I had with Coach Lincoln Riley, he asked me a question. He said, "Where would you feel bad if they said you can't come here, the spot's closed?" Oklahoma was the only one that came to mind. Everything they do there is great. Coach Riley really cares for me. That's what triggered it. This seemed like a very, very big hit for the Sooners, as Brock Vandagriff has the size and he can grow into his body even more, as he was just coming off his sophomore season. He could stand in the pocket and make passes, and he had the athleticism to run on the ground as well. This was a guy coming off a sophomore campaign in high school in which he threw for 3,190 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions, while rushing for 1,001 yards and 23 total touchdowns on the ground. He would stay committed to the Sooners throughout his junior season, in which he threw for 2,471 yards, 31 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, while rushing for 262 yards this season and 6 rushing touchdowns. After his junior season, however, Brock Vandagriff would no longer be on the road to becoming an Oklahoma Sooner, as on January 1st, 2020, Brock Vandagriff would decommit from the University of Oklahoma, as he wanted to stay closer to home. Leading to the days of his decommitment, there were rumors that he was about to decommit because he was going to want to stay closer to home, but this was still a big shocker, as when does Lincoln Riley have a quarterback decommit, and one that is a 5-star quarterback as well, a top quarterback in the nation? And this was a guy that they put all their marbles into, and the guy just decommit. And just like that, the Oklahoma Sooners needed yet again another quarterback for the 2021 recruiting class. Also, just a side note, Brock Vandagriff would end up committing to the in-state power of Georgia on January 21st, 2020. The next quarterback that OU would put all their marbles into was none other than the number 1 quarterback in that class and top 10 player as well, in Caleb Williams. Now, even before Caleb got an offer from OU, him and his family were looking at OU as a potential school to go to, as they were really interested in the school and what they have done with quarterbacks and such. But the thing is, he did not get an offer until Vandagriff decommitted, because, well, you don't just go offering other quarterbacks when you have a quarterback committed to your team already, especially a top quarterback and 5-star recruit like Vandagriff. When Lincoln Riley offered the number 1 quarterback in the nation in Caleb Williams, he made it clear to Caleb that he was going to be the only quarterback that he was going to go after. He was going to be the guy that he was going to go 110% after, and there was going to be no other quarterback in this class that was going to have his attention unlike Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams was going to be his guy, and he was going to fight as hard as he could to make him a Sooner so he can help the team out in the future. When OU really started to get heavily involved in Williams' recruitment, that's really when things started to pick up and going their way, as they took an early lead on his recruitment, and they pretty much led the entire way in 2020. And they would eventually pick up a commitment from Caleb Williams on July 4th, 2020. In the Oklahoma Sooners 2021 recruiting class, they finished first in the conference and 10th in the nation. And this was all on only 16 commitments in the class. For the entire 2021 recruitment process, Caleb Williams was a very vocal leader before he even stepped foot on campus. He organized and planned 2 trips to Norman with Oklahoma targets to see how they would like it and just to show them around so, he could potentially get them to team with him and to make this class even more stacked than it already is, since during this time you couldn't really take official visits to any schools, but you could still visit the school on your own, but you couldn't have any contact with the actual coaches or any of the staff members at all. And during this entire thing, the entire process, Caleb Williams was very vocal on social media of who he was trying to team with and who he was recruiting on his own. I will say Caleb Williams did not get everyone that he was trying to join the Sooners 21 recruiting class, but he definitely did get some, and he was somewhat responsible for some of the people that would end up committing to OU in this 2021 class. Now, without him, I don't know if OU gets some of these players. Yes, they would get recruits to fill in for some of the people they did not get, but I don't think they get everyone that they got in this class without some of the help of Caleb Williams. Fast forward to present day, Caleb Williams is the expected starter versus TCU this upcoming weekend, as he is coming off a great performance and comeback win from 18 points down versus Texas in the Red River Shootout. And people are expecting Caleb Williams to potentially help revive this Sooners offense that has been struggling in some parts of the season so far, and to potentially even lead the Sooners to a playoff appearance as a true freshman quarterback. To trace back to the main central theme of this video, it's kind of a what-if scenario. What if Vandagriff never decommitted from Oklahoma? That would mean Caleb Williams never got the offer, and Caleb Williams would go elsewhere. How would the Sooners 2021 class end up? Who would they lose and who would they get instead? How would the class look? And more importantly, what would OU be like right now without Caleb Williams? Would Spencer Rattler still remain the starter, or would have Brock Vandagriff came in and potentially lead a comeback versus Texas, or would have Texas won that game? Those are all questions that will never be answered, as Caleb Williams is the starting quarterback for Oklahoma. But it is definitely something to think about, as everything would be different for Oklahoma right now completely without Caleb Williams on the roster. Well guys, if you guys made it this far in the video, remember to smash that like button, turn on them post notifications, and subscribe for more videos. B. Kelly out.